If you've been around the channel for any length of time, you know that I used to do a lot of polymer clay videos, and I have been thinking I need to dig out my clay and get back into playing with clay again. So for one thing here, you can look forward to some more polymer clay videos on the channel later on. But I also thought I would address a question that I get a lot when people watch my polymer clay videos, and that is, what are the things that you can use to roll your clay out with? So stay tuned and see what I have to say about the things on the table. All right, so the first tool we're going to talk about as far as rolling clay out is my very dirty pasta machine. This is my preference for most of my clay rolling and for most conditioning of clay, but I know not everybody has one. They are an investment. I would recommend looking at thrift stores, garage sales, those kinds of places, and get a real pasta machine if you're going to use it with clay. And that's only if you're doing a lot of clay. I did at one time purchase one of those little cheapy clay roller machines that's supposed to be like a pasta machine. I got it with the idea that I was going to have that and use it for just white clay and translucent clay, because as you know, all you have to do is look wrong at those two colors and you'll have spots in them. So I thought, well, that would be easier than cleaning my pasta machine all the time. I think I used it twice. I put it back in its box and it never saw the light of day again. It was just so poorly made that I decided it was better to just clean this guy. So if you're doing a lot of clay work and you think you can justify it, look for a used pasta machine. That is my first choice for doing especially large quantities of clay. Let's go on to the next tool. All right, this is an acrylic roller, also very dirty, I see. I need to clean these tools. But this is the first thing that I purchased to use for rolling clay. It's sold right where you buy the polymer clay. I'll try to put a link to one in the blog post. And there'll also be pictures of all of the tools. I love this because it's straight. It doesn't mar the clay. It's easy to clean. It's strong. It's a good all-around tool. But what if and I do recommend this in addition to the pasta machine. The pasta machine is the extra. This is your workhorse, especially when you first start out. But what if you don't want to spend the money on this? I've got a solution for that too. Hold on. All right, if you check your recycling bin, you might have a very good makeshift clay roller. In fact, I started out using a jar kind of in between these two. This one was a kombucha jar, or bottle. This was capers from the kitchen, and this one held green olives. I started out with a larger caper jar. These are great when you're first starting out. The thing to look for, and this one is not as good as some of the others because it does have these dots on it. You want to find a jar that has pretty straight sides. Out of these three, I would say this would be my preference. You want a jar that's got nice straight sides. And this makes it really easy to roll your clay. Just clean it up really well. Get all the glue off of it from the label, and any grease or anything, like there's still a little bit of label there. Any grease, any oil, any yucky stuff you need to get cleaned off. But this will serve you well for a very long time. And it has an advantage that none of the real tools have: storage. You could actually put a lot of your clay working tools right inside this bottle and you'd have everything you need. You could put some toothpicks to use as pointy tools. You could use a knife, you could use your cutter, you could use all kinds of things. Just put them inside of this, store it away with your clay, and it solves two problems with one. Now, things I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend anything made out of plastic other than this acrylic. Plastic tends to not play nicely with polymer clay. I think I've showed that on the channel before. Many times raw polymer clay will eat right through many kinds of plastic. And I know a lot of people use a wooden dowel or even a wooden rolling pin. I also don't recommend those because they're not smooth. There's a wood grain. You can actually see that in the clay when you get done. So if you've got the money, pick up one of these guys, pick up a pasta machine used somewhere. If you want to go really cheap, just raid the recycling bin. Find yourself a nice straight-sided bottle. It doesn't have to be this size. Like I said, this would work really well too. Just get all that glue off and you've got a rolling tool. So that's my thoughts on some things to use for rolling your clay out, both purchased and recycled. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please push the like button. Comment if you have anything to say. And if you haven't subscribed, I'd love to see you hit the subscription button and hit the bell to notify you when I put up a new video. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.